What is up, Janksters? It's your boy Graham, also known as Hamhocks42 on the internet, and welcome to the inaugural episode of what a show I'm calling Play Q Nonsense, because that is ultimately what this is all about. This is going to be a deck tech and gameplay show moving forward that I want to make sure we get done at least once a week. I know deck techs on this channel prior to this have been very kind of slapdash, like when I have something and I have time to record it, I'll put it together and put it out, but now I kind of want to formalize it, and I want to focus on ridiculous decks that are not competitive, but fun. And we're definitely not intended for the rank queue. These are play queue. This is just for some giggles. And we're gonna have a good time with it. If you have ideas for future decks, please let me know in the comments or hit me up on Discord with some ideas, because I love brewing weird decks and taking some weird combos or crazy thoughts that people have and trying to turn them into functional 60-card decks is something that I thoroughly enjoy. So today we're going to start in Standard with our buddy Calix, Guided by Fate. This card is a house. 2/2 for 3 with the Generous Visitor ability. Whenever an enchantment enters under your control, you put up a counter, a +1/+1 counter on a thing, which could also be himself. So he could enter as a 3/3, which is pretty cool. But whenever Calix connects in combat, deals combat damage to a player, we get to create a token copy of a non-legendary enchantment we control. And I don't know if you've noticed, but the Kami War is not legendary despite being, well, I mean, it's freaking legendary, dude. But no, it doesn't actually have the legendary super type. So this, like all the Kamigawa sagas, is a representation of a legendary story, and the backside is a legendary creature from the past, but it's a recreation of them. Therefore, it itself is not legendary, which is pretty dope. And so in this case, what we get is we get Okagachi made manifest on the back end, which is just this huge, massive, just 5-color dragon that the opponent has to answer. If they don't, they're pretty hosed. But on the front end, we've got 2 pieces of removal, like just back to back, turn over turn. It's great. If you haven't had an opportunity to resolve the Kami War, boy howdy, you're missing out. It's awesome. And the idea is we get the Kami War down, it clears out any blockers, we connect with Calix, we make a copy of the Kami War, it clears out other blockers. Now, one thing to note, when I was building this, I was like, hey, tokens transform now, therefore we could get the backside of our token copies. Unfortunately, because the Kamigawa sagas exile themselves and then return to the battlefield, they do not flip. The tokens will not flip. They exile first, then cease to exist before they would come back in. So as a result, you only get the backside of the first one. However, I want to point this out too, though. The backside of Okagachi Made Manifest is itself an enchantment. So if the Kami War has already flipped and Calix connects, and as a result, Okagachi Made Manifest is on the table, it is a non-legendary enchantment you can copy with Calix. And if you get 2 of these things on the battlefield, you better win that game. That is nuts. So that's pretty rad. So that's the idea. That's ultimately what we're trying to do. We also have Leyline Binding in here as a 2-of, just as a way to clean up some early removal. We have a lot of different triomes as a result of trying to get Kami War down. So getting domains not too bad. So Leyline Binding usually costs around 2. That's not hard. And getting it down to 1 is possible in this deck. So that's nice. We also have Repair and Recharge to bring Kami War back from the bin, or a Leyline Binding if we're strapped. We also have Depopulate as a way of just not dying right away to aggro, which is good. But then we also have a whole suite of 2-drops that we can leverage to really good effect. We have Bitter Reunion, Invasion of Ergamon, and Courier's Briefcase. You will notice Bitter Reunion is the only one of these that is an enchantment. So you may be thinking, wait a minute, these aren't going to combo with Calix the way we want them to. And to some degree, that's fair. The thing is, though, they do combo beautifully with the Restoration of Eiganjo. Restoration of Eiganjo has this cool ability on Chapter 2 where you discard a card and then you can return a permanent with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. And fun fact with the Invasion of Ergamon, Courier's Briefcase, and Bitter Reunion, most of the time we don't really care if they're tapped on the turn that they enter. Bitter Reunion and Invasion of Ergamon straight up doesn't matter. Like, a tapped battle is irrelevant. It doesn't change anything. And Bitter Reunion's activated ability isn't a tap ability, so you can activate it when Bitter Reunion is tapped. So whatever, who cares? Courier's Briefcase entering tapped is relevant. That's mana that you don't have access to the first turn, but that's usually okay. By the time we're using Restoration of Eiganjo to bring Courier's Briefcase back, we're probably going to want to be drawing the cards off it anyway, so that's okay. But the main idea with these is mana acceleration and card filtering so we can get to our combo pieces. That's generally what we're trying to do. And I understand the combo is not like a big blowout, you win the game style combo. It's definitely some play queue nonsense. The other card that we're showing off here from Aftermath, in addition to Calix, is Cosmic Rebirth. I think this card is the truth. Honestly, I think this card's fantastic, and I will be shocked if it doesn't find its way into even competitive lists in the not too distant future. The amount of value you get off this thing at instant speed is bananas. You gain 3 life and get to take a permanent with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard and put it directly to the battlefield. Or take any permanent whatsoever and put it into your hand. Either way, that is cash money in the bank. At the very least, it can grab a land and ramp you. So, like, if we use Bitter Reunion to chuck one of our lands, we can Cosmic Rebirth the land into play and have access to 5 mana on turn 4 or something of that nature. Like, it's probably not the most efficient use of the sequence, and we could probably do better, but that's the floor on this thing. Meanwhile, though, on our opponent's end step, it can reanimate the Calix that they finally dealt with. Then we untap and we can start swinging with it when they weren't expecting it to be on the field. Those kind of things are very possible. We also, yeah, I believe I mentioned Repair and Recharge to get Kami War back from the bin after we've discarded it to Invasion or Bitter Reunion. This deck isn't a dedicated Reanimator deck, but having that backup option is nice. Yeah, so that's the deck. That's the idea. We want to go over the top with Kami War and get ridiculous with Calix. That's kind of the thought. Is it going to be good? I don't know. Are we going to have fun? You better believe it. So let's get into some gameplay. Hopefully we can pull some wins together, but more importantly, I hope we get to do the thing and have some laughs. Let's do it. All right, we're doing some play queue nonsense with Calix War. Now, we have the Kami War, we have Cosmic Rebirth, and we have Depopulate. If we draw into any of our early game, any of our cheap stuff, we're gonna be in good shape. I hope it happens. If not, I'm gonna be very sad. Hey, there's some early cheap stuff. Unfortunately, all of our land is tapped, but that's okay. Courier's Briefcase actually is especially nice with Cosmic Rebirth because we can actually spend, like, we can tap the Courier's Briefcase for the mana that we use to cast the Cosmic Rebirth to bring the Courier's Briefcase back in some cases. So can be cool. There's some neat lines that we have access to with that, so I'll take it. All right, we got a citizen, and our opponent is on some flavor of Bant. Playing with the double green so far. It's easy to overlook, but that Spar's headquarters can tap for blue, so we may need to be careful about counters here. Now, I kind of want to throw Zeator's Proving Grounds because we have Kami War in hand, and this is going to give us access to black. And that's nice, because otherwise we have our other colors represented. The only thing we're missing right now is blue, and for that we have the Courier's Briefcase. So we could have a Kami War coming down as early as next turn. My hope is that they spend their turn 4 playing something out, a Planeswalker or something. No, hey, actually that just gets me a land though. Like, oh, okay. I'm actually not mad at that. That can get me a, I believe we have Spar's headquarters in here. Yeah, Spar's headquarters. Boop, there we go. All right, all our mana's fixed. And we still have Cosmic Rebirth up. We can just get it back at the end step. I am in no way mad about this. That is a permanent that we can, in fact, blow up. Put on the battlefield, you betcha. You betcha. So we can exile the Invasion of Zendikar. They get their lands here, but they will never get the Awakened Skyclave with Kami War down. So that's not bad. Honestly, it's not wonderful here. Although, if we do throw it, we will be able to... We'll get closer to Okagachi. We'll get the battle off the field. So that's a resource that our opponent loses. And at this point, Chapter 2 is going to force them to discard a card no matter what, but if they put a creature down or any permanent down, we can bounce it back up to their hand. Now, they should play, if they have something with an ETB, that would be a fine time to do it. Haste, that's a thing. All right, and Ward 4, also a thing. All right. Do I want to bounce that back to their hand? I honestly don't, because I have the Depop. Yeah, I'd rather force them to discard something else. Chip in for 2 damage, hit the Depop, Avery Caretaker hitting the bin. Okay. Yeah, I want to depop before we fire Kami War. Or before Kami War flips, I should say. Oh, and we got a fresh Kami War. Tight. All right, there's a lot of stuff they can do here. And a lot of it I'm not worried about. We also have the Cosmic Rebirth that can bring back... Well, right now we don't have any targets in the bin, but we can get the Briefcase in if need be. But whatever happens, we have Kami War next turn, so... Woot. All right. So here we go. Okagachi Made Manifest is now in, on, or around the house. And I think we throw the Overgrown Farmland. We could crack the Briefcase here. Leaves 3 mana open. I'm going to do it. Let's see what we draw. Give me those cards. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Well, there's Calix. Here we go. I'm just going to play out Calix here. I don't have a clean way to get Calix into the graveyard, which is why I'm not trying to tee up Cosmic Rebirth in some way. But yeah, let's do the thing. That's right, things are being done. I'm feeling pretty good about this. Our opponent definitely was trying to ramp into some big chonkers, which I have mad respect for. Who doesn't love some big chonkers? Am I right? But yeah, I think the lack of interaction might get him. That said, I might also be speaking way too soon. They do have access to 2 white. Like, they could throw a farewell off the top and just start laughing at me. You know, crazier things have happened. Well, they're gonna channel the Careful Cultivation, make a Deuter. So, Deuter achieved. All right, now remember, this is a standard list. I was just thinking, like, we probably want Leveler. Crap. Okay, that hurts. That's a sizable thing. Fortunately for us, that Kami War in our hand is going to be able to exile that Leveler before it attacks. So we're going to get it off the field, and we're going to get it gone. But yeah, no, they're going to get Okagachi off the field, of course. That's kind of a no-brainer. Yeah. Makes sense. Can't blame them. If only they had tapped that monk for mana. That would have been the best. But alas, here we are. The reason that I say that is because then, once we exile the Cityscape Leveler, we would have been able to attack with Calix, connect, and then make another copy of Kami War and exile the monk as well. And leave them with straight nothing on the field. That would have been just primo. But alas, what's probably going to end up happening here is we Kami War, get rid of the Leveler, swing with Calix, they chump block with the 1/1. And then, honestly, we probably use Cosmic Rebirth to bring the other Kami War back to our hand on their end step and make them super sad. Alright, so, yeah. That's going to exile the Leveler. We're going to buff up Calix a bit, as one does. Alright, swinging time. They need to block this. If they don't block this, I don't know if our opponent understands how Calix works. If this connects, we're going to make a second Kami War, which is going to exile that monk and basically force them to play out whatever's in their hand. Which, if I were in their position, I wouldn't be super jazzed about. Because otherwise they would have to discard it once we get to Chapter 2. If we double tap Chapter 2 next turn, our opponent's going to be in a bad spot. And I think they know it. I think they have run out of resources at this point. We don't know what's in their hand, but that Leveler kind of looked like a moonshot, and we answered it. So we got lucky getting 2 Kami Wars, but hey, I'd rather be lucky than good. That's just for sure. All right. So what do we have going on here? It looks like we have, this might be Assault Robe. I would not be surprised. We are from, I don't know about you, but I'm very well familiar with Assault Robe. Both, receiving it and giving it, to be fair. I try not to Assault Rope often these days. My move, though, is actually to concede, like, right before my opponent has the win, like, and not let him swing. That's the way, like, if I'm trying to grief my opponent, that's the way I do it, because it doesn't, you know. I had an opponent earlier today, actually, who had lethal on me, was going, you know, like, was considering attacking me, and then decided to attack their battle instead. That I scooped. I was like, nope, you know, that's the thing. You could kill me, but you choose not to? Nope, I'm killing me now. We're getting out of here. That was a fun moment. That was actually on my stream, twitch.tv/hamhox42. Anyway, yeah, so here we are. Enjoying the rope, but you know what? Our buddy Fibblethip is waving at us. What's up, buddy? Yeah, I see you over there, totally lost with your little map. Yeah, I love the little guy. Not gonna lie, like I've been having rough days and like terrible time on the ladder. Can't string a win together. And I just look over there, and he like looks up, gives me a little wave, which actually I think might be coming based on his sequence. And it just puts a smile on my face. It just makes me happy. Yeah, it's just, how do you not love this little guy? Right? They connect. Well, or they have disconnected. It looks like. Which means we make another Kami War, eat their monk, buff our dude, and then we pass with Cosmic Rebirth up. Yeah. So this does look to me like Assault Rope. I think we were in a dominant position, and they may have just, honestly, they might have just walked away. I think that might be one of the things. I know, like, I've closed the game in frustration before, which, that's not a good look, you know? But it's okay. Yeah, as a general rule, just be nice. Be nice to other players. Be considerate of their time. You know, if you're having a bad day, if things are frustrating. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just some dude on the internet, so why does this person care? But still, like, I don't know. If the game's not going your way, scoop it up, and then close the game, and walk away, and be frustrated. That's fine. The other thing, I wonder how much of this... I've noticed this happen a lot more since Arena Mobile became a thing. I'm wondering how many times people have just, like, switched to another app and, like, didn't even realize they're still in a game. And you wouldn't really notice it if the timer before the, like, auto concession wasn't, like, 3 minutes long. Yeah. But anyway. But we got to see that we did the thing. We had multiple Kami Wars. We had Calix going. Life is good. It lined up really nicely against what our opponent was doing. Anyway, you see me talk enough. Let's get to the next game. Well, the Courier's Briefcase and Restoration of Eiganjo is kind of interesting. Except for the kind of part. That's like hella interesting. Okay, and we have Calix in the mix too. Cool. And we're actually going to be able to play Briefcase on 2 because of the basic planes in our hand. This looks great. It's funny, actually. In one variant of this deck, Invasion of Ergamon is delightful. Or Ergamon, as I like to call it. I'm sure that's not how you pronounce it. But I like to be silly, if nothing else. But in one version of this deck, I actually had... Ooh. Do we go Eiganjo? Or Calix? I think we throw Calix here. I'm gonna put the counter on our little dude. Punch for 2. All right. Anyway, in one version of the deck, I had ossification in here, but in trying to juggle 5 colors, having enough basic lands to make ossification work was really hard. Like, it just didn't really come together. And so I took that out. I changed it. And so far, actually, things have been moving a bit more smoothly, in my opinion, which is nice. All right, we got a counter on Calix, and we have an extra Calix in our hand here, right? So I'm gonna swing both, giving the Steel Seraph a free block on the Citizen. They choose not to take it. Instead, they do want to take out Calix. I can't blame them. They should. Calix is an issue. And Restoration of Eiganjo cannot get Calix back, which is mildly unfortunate, but not the end of the world. We can, however, discard the Invasion of Ergamon and get that back, which is nice. And we can also repair and recharge. Well, we could repair and recharge, but honestly, we don't have enough good stuff in the bin just yet for that. So I'm gonna let that go and not feel too bad about it. All right, our opponent is aware of the plane, so I'm just gonna throw that. And here comes a fresh Calix. Don't worry about it, opponent. I also have yet another one in hand too, but let's talk about other things you don't need to worry about, opponent. It's fine. It's fine. It's all fine. All right, cool. So we're in a pretty decent position here. However, you'll note our opponent has 6 cards left in their hand, and we have 2. So that could be a problem that we really need to be aware of. They also have the wedding announcement down, which make that 2 wedding announcements down, which is going to make the rest of my life very difficult, I suspect. And Calix is a non-artifact creature. A really cool non-artifact creature that I like a lot, but non-artifact creature all the same. So he has a throat. That's what that means. All right, let's throw another Invasion of Ergamons. I'm going to go ahead and drop the Rockfall Veil, draw into a diggity D-pop. You love to see it. D-pop Anonymous. Let's go. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and take a swing at this invasion. Yeah, just to chew up some of their tokens. I'm tempted to hit the D-pop here, but I don't think it's worth it. I think I'm better off waiting. I'm also going to sandbag Calix, knowing that I'm probably going to depop next turn. If we throw just another Calix without the Rebirth in our hand, we're going to be potentially up the creek. So I don't want to do that, which I think makes sense. All right, so they have the double wedding announcements. They are going to want to attack with both these duders. Voice of the Blessed, man, yes, get that on the field so I can kill it next turn. That is great. I love this for you. You want to get some more creatures out here? Oh, you're just going to make some more tokens. That's fine, too. That totally works. Let's go. All right. So, do we attack here? Or do we not even bother? I think I'm going to attack. Honestly, I don't really necessarily want to flip one of the battles, because that would only get us a creature that would die immediately upon getting depopulated. And we don't have another battle that's worth searching up. So here we go. Pop. Oh, opponent, you really think you got me, didn't you? I'm sure you did. Boom, get that voice out of here. Now, do we want to do a Resto? Resto can get us back. Well, no, we don't have anything in our graveyard that Resto can get back. That's mildly problematic. Or do we throw Calix? Is now the moment for Calix. Honestly, that makes me kind of nervous. So instead, I'm going to slow roll it, sandbag it, as it were. Honestly, now that I look at it, I'm realizing I shouldn't have done that because we had to sacrifice 2 treasures in order to get the Restoration of Eiganjo out. And those were 2 colors that we could have used to activate the Briefcase next turn. Whoops. All right. Your boy did not think that through. All right. Yeah, did not think that through. Well, now I'm going to run out Calix and hope for the best. What could possibly go wrong? The Restoration of Eiganjo, if Calix survives, which is not a given. The Restoration of Eiganjo flips, is an enchantment entering the battlefield, so that'll give Calix another counter. Lunar Veteran's no joke. That's very helpful, especially with Voice of the Blessed. Makes a lot of sense. Ready, boo. Here we go. Calix getting swole and or jacked. Actually, I don't need to use that yet, so we'll wait. Alright. Calix gonna continue to get swole and or jacked. Let's go grab a Pliggity Plains. Alright. Jockeying for board presence. Getting the Lunarch Veteran off the field, I think, is worth it here. That seems good enough for me. Alright. That's peril. That's annoying. Doggone it. Not a huge fan. Not a huge fan of that. Yeah, let's see what we draw into first. Nothing. Alright, cool. Yeah, I'll take the ramp while I can get it. Woof. Yeah, I should have drawn those cards off that briefcase earlier. We are sitting with nothing. That said, we're going to flip this 3-4. It might not be nothing. Or it might be completely nothing. Nothing but nothing. They also have this 3-4 flyer, though, which is a problem. Jetmir's Garden? Yeah, I'm going to cycle you so freaking hard, it's not even funny. Let's go. Find me something. Invasion of Ergamon. I can at least get a treasure, which gets us closer to the right colors. Comic War! Hey! I know you. I like you. Let's go. And we have 2 treasures. So we have the colors necessary for Kami War. Courier's briefcase is gonna, you know, we're gonna lose the briefcase in the process, but I think that'll be okay. All right. That's coming in. Do they have another Path of Peril or something of that nature? I'm surprised they would open... oh, they're gonna Rite of Oblivion. Okay, all right. That's a thing right there. That is a thing. Well, Kami War is what we came here to do. So let's do it. All right, we have a second to let that scroll get out of our way, and then I'm going to hit one of those wedding announcements, and I'm going to sit back with the Zeotor's Proving Ground in my hand with the intention of cycling the crap out of it. Now, they need some kind of creature, sacrificing a non-land permanent. Oh, never mind. They could sacrifice their wedding festivities to get rid of my Kami War. That actually is not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. And that exiles the Kami War. Unfortunate. Repair and recharge can get us back Calix. That's not nothing. It's not much, though, to be honest. I really want a Kami War in our graveyard here, but we don't have one. We can also go grab the Restoration of Eiganjo and get up with the Courier's briefcase. Which, again, like, it's not much. Actually, no, I think I'm going to grab Calix. I think I'm going to repair and recharge Calix. Let's go. All right. I don't have another enchantment is the problem right now. So I don't have anything else for Calix to copy. That said, there's a lot of amazing stuff we could top deck here. Like another Calix. Tight. You know what, though? This guy, the Kruger Cliff Charger entering, I have the ability to discard that and go grab the Spar's headquarters. Honestly, I shouldn't have said. Well, cycling the Zeotor's Proving Grounds might not have been correct. But I'm gonna go try to fix my mana and establish more of a board state. It's kind of my thought. We'll see what happens here. Steel Seraph. And a Voice of the Blessed. Fart. Yeah, this is not ideal. That is, though. That's actually perfect. This enters. We have some triggers. We exile the Seraph. We buff Calix. Swing full face. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Yeah, they have to chump Calix here. Putting Voice of the Blessed, which has the opportunity to be the biggest, baddest game-ending monster on the field, like the best of Johnny's Pride Bait they've ever printed that I'm aware of. Putting that in a position where it has to chump a 4/4, oh, it feels great. Love it. I love this. No! Don't Rite of Oblivion my Calix. Oh, man, opponent, I will never forgive you for this. I'm gonna flash back to Rite of Oblivion to get rid of my Kami War. Rite of Oblivion freaking rips, you guys. That card's real good. Now, we still have 4 power on board, but they also still have a Phyrexian Arena. So, that's only gonna get us so far. We do a little double tap. I'm hanging on to the bit of Reunion because if we draw dead next turn, that gives us an opportunity to churn. And that is fine by me. And again, and we're still representing 4 power on board. They have the Phyrexian Arena is a double-edged sword. It does ping them for 1 every single turn. Sure, they double their draws. Like, it's powerful, but if they don't sacrifice it to a Phyrexian to a Rite of Oblivion rather, and play out another one, sure. Yeah, but if they didn't do something with it, then I could have cycled first, I guess. This maybe was not correct. Invasion of Ergamons. We drop that. That's nothing. And I'm just gonna keep chipping away. Chipping away. Yeah, I should have cycled first. We would have seen 1 more card had I done that. Man, this one is coming down to the wire. Another wedding announcement that presents chumpers. No! Opponent, how dare you have chump blocks? Boo. All right. Go to the end step. They rock out a Deuter. And we draw a Briefcase. I'm not mad at that. Now if we get our hands on a Kami War, we can use it. We have one other treasure, and we have the blue down. Actually, wait a minute. Does that just mean... Yeah, I can just crack this right now. Oh, heck yes. Let's do that. I like this. I like this. Let me just draw 3 cards real quick. Boom. And we draw very little. But we do have a Kami War. So that's tight. And yes, I'm sending my 1/1 citizen at your face. I could have sacked the Bit of Reunion, but I'm going to save it. All right. Cool. It's a trade I'm willing to make. So what's going to end up happening? I'm going to drop Kami War. We're going to exile their wedding announcement. They are going to sacrifice the Phyrexian Arena to exile our Kami War with the Right of Oblivion. Never mind. I'm going to exile their Sheoldred with the Kami War. And Welcoming Vampire. Okay. Those are both good. Those are both damn good. Can't deny it. All right. I don't have black down. I don't have black mana anymore. Never mind. I can't throw a Kami War next turn. Our opponent probably wins this. Surprise, surprise. Stop me if you've heard this one before. My opponent played Sheoldred, and they won the game. Yeah, happens all the damn time. Same story. Yeah. They at least were doing something different on the way. Like, doing Orzhov with Phyrexian Arena and like a life gain package. That is different. I'll give him that. We also drew a lot of lands this game. Which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Now, I did not sequence correctly. Cycling the Zeotor's Proving Grounds earlier was a massive problem. Had I not done that, we would have been in a much better position now. Yeah. We need to get that swamp from the graveyard onto the field, and we just don't have a good way to do that right now. That's only one. They didn't attack with Shelly? Are they worried about Emperor, maybe? Which is reasonable. I haven't really given them any reason to believe I have it, but... This whole sequence, they're gonna gain more life than I can fathom, because I'm real bad at math. Yeah, I'm gonna just draw all my lands real quick. Show me another land. Oh, Resto. Actually, that's like something. It's not enough, but it's something. Yeah, we don't have any to find. Yeah. Maybe just hold back, but no, they 100% have it here because we're taking 200 upkeep. They attack with any number of these creatures, and we're dead. So this was a nail biter. It went all over the place. We did a ton of stuff. At the end of the day, my mana base didn't cooperate. I probably need to dial it in a little bit. I was also a little loosey-goosey with my treasures, so I could have played much tighter this game. And I think if I had, I probably would have secured the victory. But at the end of the day, our opponent had it. So, good game. Come on in. Welcome to my face. Well, we got the briefcases and the ability to play them and lead up to the depop. So, I think we go for this. All right. We'll see what happens. I'm going to lead off with Jetmir's Garden. Then we're going to be following that up with the island and a briefcase. And then followed by Zeotor's Proving Ground and a briefcase. That's kind of the plan right now. Let's see if opponent's going to let us do that. All right. Hey, Fib with Hip. I see you, bud. All right. Anyway, sorry, he was just waving. Just makes me happy. It just makes me happy. Can't help it. Meanwhile, our opponent over here with the like super rad koi fish. I also do really enjoy that. It is a cool thing. All right. I'm not gonna pay my briefcase to play another briefcase. That seems like it would be silly. Our opponent might be on some form of the mono white list. They might also be soldiers. With Thalia, you never quite tell. You can never quite tell. They're in Portal naming black. Honestly, they're running 3 in Portal. Well, I'm not sure what they're doing. But it's off meta, so that's nice. I generally prefer when my opponents go a little avant-garde with their builds. I like that. So let's see. What you doing, opponent? Siege veteran. Oh, they are. You also are. Yeah, you are soldiers. Okay, cool. Why are you running through portal? Like, what is that about? I'm very confused. Non-token soldier you control dies. You make a 1/1 soldier artifact creature. Okay. I'm so confused. Oh my goodness. All right, but it's okay. No attacks. All right, interesting. I'm very confused by that, but I'm not complaining. Just confused. We could bid a reunion the Kami War into our bin. We could also throw the briefcase. Just have another treasure online. Both seem decent, honestly. At this point, I really want to get... I want to get to Depop. I think Depop's where we want to be. So, you know what? I'm actually going to lead with the bid of reunion because this is going to increase our likelihood of hitting our land drops on time, which is going to be a big frickin' deal. Leyline Binding actually might be... like kind of exactly what we need, because that's a way to just snipe Thalia, which is pretty sweet. And then if we do end up getting Calix online somehow, that could do some cool things too. So I'm liking this possibility. That said, my hope is here that they commit to the board and put another creature or two down, another siege veteran. Okay, that is going to create a lot more spirits when we depop, which is going to be next turn. Definitely. I was on the fence about that, but we're definitely there now. All right, but yeah, so they're gonna get what? Each one is gonna see the other die. So each one is gonna create 2. So they're gonna make 4 tokens. So we're gonna go ahead and chump 4, pop, and we draw a Shpara's headquarters. Which, you know what? I'll take it. That's fine. But yeah, now the time has come. I need to just clean this up as much as humanly possible. Diggity depop. Get your spirits. Let's see how bad was my math. That's relatively simple math. It should just be 4 spirits, right? Or no, not spirits. Sorry, soldiers. Yeah, 4 little 1/1 soldiers. Annoying. Quite annoying. I don't love this, but that's okay. We do have a Kami War teed up, so... No! Oh, jerk face. Opponent, how dare you be such a jerk face. All right, I do have 3 white sources, which is meaningful because I'm going to be able to Kami Ward the Valiant Veteran and then Leyline Binding one of their duders on the next turn. Hey, we get another white source just for good measure. That's nice. I like that. Oh, yeah, that's good, actually. I needed that. Okay, thank you, deck, for, like, saving me and making me not look like a complete doofus here on the YouTubes. But yeah, we repair and recharge. Kami War exiles a veteran. They might have some kind of protection spell. Resolute reinforcements, okay. That's a lot of dudes. Like, that's a lot of stuff on board. Can't deny it. If they have another Lord, that would hurt a lot. I do have removal teed up, so that's nice. It's gonna help, but only so far. Gavany Dawnguard, okay. Oh, it has Ward 1. Alright, so I'm not touching it anyway. I wasn't really planning to, but yeah. Those siege veterans were muy problematic. Alright. We're gonna bind that. Probably should have bought a token just to be safe, but it'll be okay. Alright. Yodian frontliner, sure. Okay, first Kami War is nice. I like that. Yeah, I like that. I don't think it's enough, but I like it. Let's force him to discard. Yeah. Yeah, it's most assuredly not enough. Now we have the Power Stone token from the repair and recharge. So we are able to throw this, targeting the Gavany Dawnguard, and actually being able to pay the Ward 1. So that's kind of cool, but it's not quite enough. We needed another depop. Those siege veterans creating the soldier tokens upon death, like, just did us in. But Hey, we put up a good show. We almost got there against a very aggressive deck that is, like, this is leveraging a lot of core pieces that are part of the tier 1 soldier deck. Their version looked a little different, but it was close. So, I'm not mad at that. I see a bit of reunion, Leyline Binding, Depop. We have actually more early interaction than this deck usually has based on the last few games I've played. So, I say we give it a shot. Let's run it out and see what we can do. I'm gonna keep this. I might regret it, but I'm gonna keep it. I think I'm gonna lead off with the Triome on 1. The other option is to throw the Rockfall Veil on 1. That way we have the red source for Bit of Reunion on 2. Just kidding. Or we throw the red Triome on 1. Boom, baby. All right, so this gives us the... Actually, no, Spar's Headquarters on 2 means Leyline Binding's up on 1. Sick. Bam. Oh, but we don't have we don't have light open. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. I'm an idiot. Pay no attention to the idiot in the corner or whatever. That idiot behind the curtain. All right. It's fine. It's fine. Our opponent's not pressuring us yet. They certainly will, but we're not there yet. Let's go Resto. Resto, yes, no? Abo, did you want to deal with that? No? Okay, cool. I'll take it. Thank you. I appreciate your willingness to let me draw land. Sometimes you need to draw land. It feels good to draw land. And I'm going to do some cool little jujitsu next turn, assuming the restoration survives. Cool. Poison counter's been achieved. So our opponent is on the Brute Force straightforward toxic spells plan. This is something that I've seen a ton of. The deck is capable of running... ooh, do I throw the Bitter Reunion or Ergamans? I think I throw Ergamans. Because that gives us a little bit of selection. And the treasure. Ramp is good. I like ramp. And I'm going to try to throw the Bitter Reunion. This deck does run counter spells. Specifically Bring the Ending, which I'm not super worried about here. You know, I don't know. I might end up chowing down on those words later. We'll see. But in the end, I'm not super concerned. We can throw Calix here, which will likely eat either Bring the Ending or a... Bring the Ending or... What am I thinking of? The Drown in Ichor, which is a kill spell. Or the Vraska's Fall. Like it could take one of those. Honestly, though, I think I'd chill out. I don't want to spend my treasure yet. Running it right into a kill spell, my thought was I can just Cosmic Rebirth it later. Which, I mean, we could do. There's nothing stopping us from that. But I think we hold off. Yeah, Visions of Phyresis, or Prologue to Phyresis, sure. Yep. Another Prologue to Phyresis. Okay, that is super annoying. They have seen, in the first 13 cards, they got all 3 of those. Tight. Perfectly fair and balanced. Nothing to be concerned about here. All right. Cool. So, I'm going to throw Calix, Guided by Fate. Potentially straight into a counter spell, but that's okay. That is the risk we pay. Yep, there it is. Yep. And I have 3 or more poison counters, so that just counters. Does the thing. I could throw another one, but it would spend my treasure, which I don't want to do yet. So instead, I'm going to sack Bitter Reunion. And that's going to hit the Annoying with Affliction. Okay, fair enough. But you know what? We're getting them to spend their resources. Spend those resources. I would love it if they committed some kind of something to the board. A creature, a planeswalker, a something that I can hit with this Leyline Binding that is just burning a hole in my hand here. Or my Kami War. Vraska! Hey, what is up, girl? I was just thinking about you. Alright, so this gives me blue, this gives me black. We have Kami War, straight up. Alright, tight. I could Leyline Bind. We could Leyline Bind. We could. Or we could just Kami War and feel great. I like that option. I like Kami Warring and feeling great. Something about Warring Kami, it's just fun. Now, do I want to do that or do I want to bind? I can bind right now. It's like super mana efficient. Yeah, it's super mana efficient. We gotta, yeah, let's do that. Ding, ding. All right. Gonna throw this. Then I'm gonna throw this. I'm just gonna set him down. Boom. Your move, opponent. That gets around any counter spells because they tapped out for Vraski. Now they have to remove Calix. They have to. Blight Belly Rat, sure. That actually can chump Calix nicely, which is annoying. That is annoying. Do we have any bit of Rebirth targets? Or Cosmic Rebirth targets, rather? No, I think we wait. I think we hold off on that. Well, okay. Well, you know what? Blight Belly Rat is not going to be jumping Calix. Rouse's Fall, that is going to be killing Calix. Which is fine, but Blight Belly Rat is getting exiled. That is some epic overkill, and I am so here for it, you have no idea. All right. Ross is back again. Tell a friend. So, Kami War could bounce Vraska. Assuming this Dimir deck doesn't have an answer to it, which I'm pretty sure it doesn't. The other option is to bounce our Invasion of Ergamon. We can also... Actually, no, I'm going to be a jerk. Do I be a jerk? I think I'd be a jerk. I'm going to bounce my Leyline Binding. So the Legend Rule is going to come into play, kill one of their Vraskas. And they have to discard a card. They have to select the Vraska with the higher loyalty. Yeah. Vraska 6, if you will. But then I throw the Leyline Binding back down before it goes back to their turn. And we exile the Vraska. Never said I was a nice guy, all right? So, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and bid a reunion. Then we're going to dump the Depop. Depop Anonymous. Draw 2 cards. Draw 2 fresh cards. Experimental Augury? Sure. By all means. Augury up, dog. And I can't help but notice the amount of mana that we currently have access to. Yeah, we put that on the battlefield. All day or day, let's go. We dump Depop. All day or day, let's go. Get another Kami War. We then Cosmic Rebirth Calix. Oh yeah, right onto the battlefield. Do it up, dog. And then we spend the treasure to give Calix haste. Punch face. Ding ding. We absolutely take action. I'm gonna make a fresh Kami War. Our opponent doesn't have any permanents to exile, which is a little bit unfortunate, but not the end of the world. Yeah. Drowned in Icor. Dang it! Ah, still viable. All right. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. That was a slick line, though. I felt really good about that line. And we're up to 8 poison. We need to find some way to be dealing damage to our opponent. Okagachi's gonna flip next turn. So yeah, 8 poison. Which is nice. And chapter 2 of that is gonna trigger. I'm gonna bring Ergamon back to hand because a 9 power battle is not great. Just not great. Okay, cool. We rebirth, bit of reunion. Yes, put it on the battlefield. Dump Ergamon. Draw some. Play that. I don't have any other way to get another creature on the battlefield quite yet. So we crack this. That gives Okagachi Made Manifest haste. We swing for a lot. It's going to be 8 when it's all said and done. Our opponent's probably going to give it... Honestly, Bitter Reunion has done so much freaking work for us here. It is unreal. They're going to give us back Depop, which makes Okagachi a 10 power creature. Like, I'm not that mad at that, if I'm honest. All right, cool. So, and then we throw an Invasion of Ergamon, drop the Depop, draw another card, get another treasure. Just keep it cruising, baby. Just keep on cruising. Courier's Briefcase, that's a fine 2 mana play. Excellent. Our opponent needs to get something that can put 2 poison counters on us this turn, or we probably have it. Probably. I say probably because yeah, got it. Woo! Man, that was wild. That was all over the place, but holy cow, was that fun. So thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it very, very much. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. It makes a huge difference. And with that, I'm actually going to kick it over to Past Me to tell you all about my patrons. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. And I wanted to take this opportunity to give a huge shout out and thank you to the patrons of this channel who do make this possible through their support over on Patreon. And I want to give a special shout out to the Mythic patrons at the $10 level. That is Angry Jellyfish, Bunyip, Else89, Carl Ligon, our newest patron. Thank you so much. Ryan, X of Most Trades, and Yuck Foozy. Thank you so much for doing what you do and helping me keep the lights on. If you, dear viewer, want to help out for as little as $1 a month, you can have your name displayed here on our patrons, which also, I gotta say, just huge thank you. I'm having to make this text a little smaller these days, which is really cool. You're amazing. Thank you. But anyway, if you would like to join for as little as $1 a month over on Patreon, the link is in the description. It makes a tremendous difference. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you on the next one.